Mr. Imran Khan's recent embarrassment with the leaked audio tapes. Not that I wish to be salacious, but his life is his own private life. Nobody wants to interfere with his private life and what he does in his life. But what I want to focus on is how does this affect his image? And do you think this has got something to do with the army?
Well, the army part is undeniable. I mean, who else
Who else
could
would do that?
tap
Correct.
and release this? So, I mean, the army is not even a question.
Correct.
The effect that I'm seeing is quite strange. It hasn't dented his popularity at all. Because, I guess there in a society, especially Pathan society, where machismo is, you can sleep around with
Yes.
girls and boys.
Correct.
Uh, uh, it's perfectly fine. It's the accepted thing. Men are meant to sow their seeds in as many fields as possible. Um Now, the kink aspect of it, rubbing dal makhani on somebody and uh, um, licking it off or whatever it was that tape referred to, it's produced titillation,
Hmm.
and he seems to be embarrassed because he hasn't issued a statement since.
True.
But it hasn't affected his popularity. Have you noticed?
Hmm.
Nobody has held it against him. Because I guess, and this you have to congratulate Pakistani society. It seems remarkably
Progress.
uh, open-minded to fetishes and kinks and things like that. Like, imagine if an Indian politician got caught wanting to have molten chocolate lava put on him and licked off. I think that would be the end of his political career. But clearly, for a Pakistan, having kali dal smeared all over you and licked off isn't.
Isn't
They like
yeah.
it's an open, progressive society. It's open to alternative sexual interpretations and lifestyles.
Kudos to Pakistan. I mean, yeah, I didn't think
Yeah,
that way,
yeah.
but yes, clearly they seem to have very different sexual mores. Like you said, his popularity hasn't really been, I don't think it has affected. If maybe like you said, maybe in a society where machismo is always there's a premium placed on it. It's probably
Though I think there is an important gastronomical point in all of this, which our leaders should know, because notice I made the mistake of calling it dal makhni,
mm,
because here we immediately assume that kali dal becomes dal makhni,
hmm.
and this was popularized by that restaurant Peshawari that used to call it Peshawari dal.
Oh, okay.
Now, having been to the Afghan border near Peshawar, I can tell you they don't eat dal. And when I wanted to see if they have anything called dal Peshawari, they're like, huh, huh, what? So if this was, if the object of the said sexual kink was kali dal, I want to know what the recipe for that kali dal is, because it's definitely not the same as dal makhni.
Ha, right. That's an important takeaway from this entire episode.
Yes, yes.
Right. And what about? I mean, generally, the state of Pakistan. What do you think? I mean, there's so many people who are predicting doomsday for the country. Um, Everybody says it's going to happen. So how soon? How late? When are we going to see it happen? And how is it going to? There are many here who wish that oh, Pakistan and we, India, will be one day, and then oh, our brothers in Pakistan will all. So is it going to be something like that, bhaichara kind of union, or what do you see?
Look, I'm always amazed by this extreme, from one sexual kink of dal makhni to extreme masochism.
Correct.
Uh, I think the Indian kink verges on the Indian kink for extreme masochism. It verges on becoming some kind of a sexual disease, a mental
True.
disease. Because while nobody should judge sadists and masochists, they are free to their own sexual
Definitely.
desires. Once it results in self harm, I think it transcends that psychological line from being
choice.
A
Yeah,
healthy outlet to being something harmful.
correct.
This is literally like saying, oh, my brother with a tumor, let's join together so we can both
Share
die
the
of it.
tumor. Correct.
It is sick, it is perverted. I think anybody who says that India and Pakistan should become one should be thrown in jail for treason, if not hanged for treason. No, we are not one country. 70 years psychologically makes you very, very different,
True.
right? Um, there's no point in us being together. Second, we all tend to underestimate Pakistan. Pakistan has a tenacity to survive. How it comes about, be it in opposition to India, be it Islam, is irrelevant. The point is, it is not going anywhere. So, it's one thing to have uh, fantasies, but again, like extreme masochism, when those fantasies start becoming policy, that becomes very problematic.
So, what about POK? Do you think just occupying POK is also kind of self defeatist in the sense that because demographically,
First, trying to take it back is going to be a nightmare.
correct,
It's going to cost you hundreds of thousands of
troops.
troops. It's a very, very difficult terrain to get into. Remember, it's all hilly, brutal terrain. It's some of the toughest terrain on earth. Number one. Number two, uh, Pakistan and the Pakistan military aren't spring chickens. Number three, their society is one of the most radicalized and militarized societies around. Everybody owns a AK-47, especially in those regions. What do you think you're getting into? Fourth, what do you think Pakistan's nuclear weapons are there for? Because, I think, I forget who was the general, but they enunciated four thresholds: the economic threshold, the spatial threshold, the military threshold, and one more threshold. Where if the Indian army managed to cross beyond a certain limit into their territory, they would use nuclear weapons. So, it's unrealistic. Second, assume the Pakistani state collapses, pure as a fantasy. I don't think it's going to happen, but purely as a fantasy. You go in, you are going to be faced with an insurgency. 70 years of brainwashing does produce a certain fanaticism, that you think that it's going to be a kumbaya moment and everybody's going to hold hands and, hug and kiss and distribute laddus and things like that.
Correct,
No.
correct, right.
That's what we thought was going to happen in Sri Lanka,
Yes,
remember?
yes.
We'll go there and the Sri Lankan
It
Tamils will
welcome
hug us
us.
and ultimately we will integrate. Yeah.
Yes,
How did that end up?
true.
Please remember to subscribe to us and switch on the notifications for this channel. For our other social media links, more content, and to support our work, please visit citti.net. Dhanyavad. Namaskar.